In 2008, the Center for the New American Security, a Washington think tank, staged an elaborate game. The goal was to simulate a global summit on climate change. The year is 2015. The context for the game is Lucy's context. Miami has been devastated by a hurricane and Bangladesh ravaged by a cyclone. The people who are playing the roles of global leaders are in fact high-level policymakers from around the world.
Let me be very clear. Our time is running out.
The Western countries went through a very energy-intensive development process, became rich by burning coal and burning oil. Can countries like India and China do it without burning as much fossil fuel as the West?
We have to grow greener. You have the technology and you have the capital, and you're prepared to help us grow on a greener path.
China and India say they will agree to the cuts in greenhouse gas emissions only if the West hands over the technology needed to do so.
China would wish to get the technology for the third generation of nuclear power plants.
But Europe and the US refuse. The technology belongs to private companies. Instead, they offer to help pay the costs of switching to cleaner energy.
You do the emissions reduction, and we give the money for the emissions reduction that you've done.
Because if simply, you have the money, but you do not have the technology, and then you cannot reduce the emissions.
The whole summit hinges on whether they can come to an understanding.
So we're not putting any pressures, we're just offering, and I think it's a good offer.
We do not accept the offer.